And those are just general admission tickets. If you want to see, some of those are going for over $1,000.
See tickets at the Target Center in Minnesota selling for as low as $10.
The cost of tickets for the WNBA playoffs has dropped to just $10. This isn't even a joke. Close-up tickets to see Caitlin Clark's games were selling for thousands of dollars, while tickets for the Suns games last week were selling for as little as $65. You can sit directly behind the team's bench and have the best view in a house, but it seems no one wants to watch DJ Carrington's vicious antics anymore. It's unfortunate to see the WNBA could have made significant profits. I don't even want to guess how much the playoffs could have changed if the Fever had been permitted to play at home without being disrupted. It would have been insanely expensive to watch Caitlin at the final prices.
An amazing passer.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most creative passers I've ever seen, along with Magic Johnson. That type of pass. She makes long, short pass, bounce pass. I mean, incredible passes. And her teammates have been really good. They catch them and they finish. I mean, they've done a really good job with.
The WNBA needs to start offending its players, particularly Caitlin Clark, who garnered millions of views and persevered in leading the poorest team to the playoffs despite opposition from referees, players, and the media.
Wherever she goes, ratings follow. The WNBA draft, the doubleheader to open the NBA season, ratings. The
WNBA has recently seen a dramatic and unexpected decline in ticket prices for the finals, which has been directly linked to Caitlin Clark's absence from the playoffs. Without Clark, the league is facing significant challenges in filling seats, with ticket prices plummeting from the thousands they once commanded during her regular season performances. Now, we have players like Angel Reese flexing on her fans for how much she makes. Let's be honest, if it weren't for Caitlin, nobody would even be by her standards. A few months ago, the situation was entirely different. Caitlin Clark's regular season games had become a must-see spectacle, with tickets selling out for incredibly high prices. Fans were willing to shell out thousands of dollars just to witness her incredible basketball prowess in person. As the playoffs drew near, her presence intensified. The excitement that once surrounded WNBA games has faded, and the league is struggling to maintain the same level of enthusiasm among its fan base. The thrill even more, with ticket sales reaching previously unheard of heights, but Caitlin Clark's elimination from the playoffs to avoid the embarrassment of empty seats during their most important events, the WNBA has drastically lowered ticket prices in an attempt to at least give the impression of packed arenas. The narrative has drastically changed. Ticket prices have fallen to levels no one could have predicted, and the league is desperately trying to make stadiums look full without Clark. If the excitement isn't there yet, it's undeniable that fans are feeling the impact of Caitlin Clark's absence. Her captivating performances were a major draw, and without her, the excitement surrounding the playoffs has significantly faded. The league is finding it difficult to fill the enormous void she left behind as interest in the finals wanes. Clark's absence is proving to be a significant blow to the WNBA's momentum.
There would be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
There's no doubt about that. The WNBA would finally get what they deserve because Caitlin Clark would bring viewership to a rival league and leave the WNBA back to where it started. But rumors that Clark might take her talents overseas to Europe have put the league in a precarious position. Every fan of the season is urging her to leave.
Setting records, once again, why would she not? This Sunday's game between number 5 Iowa versus number 2 Ohio State is the most expensive ticket in women's basketball, WNBA or NCAA women's on record. The current get-in price is almost $500.
It's hard to see how the WNBA could maintain its current level of success if she were to move to an overseas league. Without her captivating presence, a new fan base if Clark chooses a European team, the WNBA will probably lose a lot of interest from fans who are keen to follow her career, as rivals overseas are already getting ready to take advantage of her star power. Clark's departure might cause the league to struggle with another exodus of attention and support as they might turn their focus elsewhere. Despite the enormous attention and money she has brought in for the league, there is growing concern that the WNBA has not done enough to support Clark. Whether it's making sure she's sufficiently protected from being targeted by opposing players or giving her the right platform to fully showcase her talents, the league appears to have failed to help Clark thrive, and the consequences are becoming painfully obvious.
A lot of players, a lot of these wonderful ladies who bust their tail to make the WNBA what it was. Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave it.
The WNBA, once on the verge of a breakthrough season, now faces the reality that without Clark, it struggles to maintain the same level of engagement and risks losing the momentum it has worked hard to build. In just the last few weeks alone, the WNBA has seen one of the steepest declines in attendance and fan interest in its history. Her absence has caused the excitement surrounding the games to evaporate, resulting in a dramatic nosedive in ticket sales. Caitlin Clark's dynamic play drew some of the biggest crowds the league had ever seen, and now it's practically begging fans to attend the finals. This is a shocking reversal of fortunes that highlights how much the WNBA had come to rely on Clark to fill seats and generate excitement without her players thinking about going on strike because they are jealous of her salary and not being paid enough. Her presence on the court not only elevated her team, but also energized the entire league, making every game exciting. She played a major event without her, but the WNBA is facing a difficult task to remain relevant. The buzz that Clark generated was crucial to the league's recent expansion, and now the league is struggling to regain that same momentum without her. The sharp decline in interest is a harsh reminder of how important star players like Clark are to the league's success. To put things in perspective, front row seats at the WNBA Finals could have easily fetched upwards of $20,000 each. The finals would have been the most anticipated in WNBA history, and ticket demand would have been huge. With Clark's absence, the league is facing a starkly different reality. Ticket prices have plummeted to their lowest levels, and the once thrilling atmosphere surrounding the games has dissipated. Clark's presence would have turned the event into a spectacle, elevating the finals to a whole new level of excitement and media attention.
Has joined the WNBA. We've now earned enough money for every single team to fly private. So if we put her on the team, we're going to be able to fly private all the way to Paris and back. We have been fighting for private flights for so many years in women's basketball, but I mean, we can go back to...
The WNBA has lost out on a huge revenue opportunity, not only from ticket sales, but also from lucrative sponsorship deals. Because fewer people are watching or attending the games, sponsors are pulling back, resulting in millions of dollars in lost revenue. This could have been a financial windfall for the league, but instead it has become a major setback that highlights how crucial Clark's presence is to the WNBA's success. It's not just ticket sales and sponsorship deals that have suffered. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA has changed. There is a noticeable lack of energy, and it feels like the league is about to become irrelevant. The finals, which should be the pinnacle of the WNBA season, have become an afterthought. Fans are just not as interested when the league's brightest star isn't on the court. The excitement that Clark generated has vanished, leaving the games feeling flat. If the WNBA wants to prevent further decline, they need to seriously rethink how they support their star players. A once-in-a-generation talent, Caitlin Clark has the potential to change, not just the WNBA. However, Clark's influence on women's basketball goes well beyond the court. She gives the league visibility, excitement, and growth. If the WNBA doesn't give her the support she needs, they run the risk of losing her to rival leagues in Europe or elsewhere, where there are more competitive opportunities for elite talent. Should Clark depart, the WNBA may once again struggle for relevance and survival in a crowded sports landscape.
Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million.
The WNBA must create an environment where Clark and other stars can not only perform at their best but also feel valued and supported in the long run. The current situation is a clear example of what happens when a league fails to properly invest in its stars. The WNBA has lost its biggest draw. The fallout has been catastrophic. Fans are disengaging. Ticket prices have plummeted, and the league's future appears uncertain without Caitlin Clark leading the way.
Listen, as demonstrated, Caitlin Clark is a beast. She is so popular that they have recently introduced something called the Clark Cam. It's a camera that is just dedicated to following Caitlin Clark around for the entire game, which is then live streamed here on.
Clark's absence has made it clear how important she is to the WNBA's success, and the league must do everything in its power to ensure that she stays. This goes beyond just providing financial incentives. The WNBA must show Clark that she is valued as an athlete and as a person by supporting her both on and off the court, shielding her from unwarranted targeting, and providing her with the platform to thrive. If they don't, the league runs the risk of losing both Clark and the momentum they've worked so hard to build. When the WNBA battled to remain relevant and financially viable, and there was little fan interest with sellout crowds, increased media attention, and a surge in popularity, Caitlin Clark has given the league a glimpse of its potential as a powerhouse in women's sports. She single-handedly elevated the league to new heights, making WNBA games must-watch events. But without her, the league's future appears increasingly uncertain. The WNBA simply cannot afford to lose Clark, and they must act quickly to ensure that she remains its central figure for years to come.
And to imply that we should just ignore the impact that Caitlin Clark had on this team, this league, this sport. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
The WNBA is feeling the effects of Caitlin Clark's absence in a number of ways. Fans are no longer rushing to games, ticket prices for the finals have dropped, and the league is losing out on a huge revenue opportunity that Clark's star power previously generated. Her presence on the court had elevated the WNBA to unprecedented heights, drawing sellout crowds, creating buzz, and attracting media attention. Without Clark, the league is struggling to maintain that momentum, while the entitled players who believe they are selling out arenas have received little. Clark's presence is crucial, as evidenced by the stark difference in attendance and fan interest. Rumors that she may take her talents abroad add even more urgency to the situation. Losing her to international leagues would be a devastating blow to the WNBA and could result in a sharp decline in its relevance. Clark has the power to influence women's basketball going forward, and her influence goes beyond the floor. Caitlin Clark's return is crucial not only for the WNBA, but also for the future of women's basketball in general. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. More videos are now available. This means that the future of the WNBA depends on making sure players like Clark remain essential parts of the league. If they don't act quickly to retain her, they risk slipping back into the obscurity they fought so hard to escape.